and Eva Marie Saint from North by Northwest. Tonight, go inside the legend to meet the man who thrilled and chilled us like nobody else ever has. The one, the only, Alfred Hitchcock, as you've never known him. Next on Larry King Live. Pat Hitchcock is not only the only child of Alfred and Alma Revel Hitchcock. She was an actress and producer herself, was in 3 Hitchcock films, Stage Fright, Strangers on a Train, and Psycho. Also appeared on TV's Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and is co-author of Alma Hitchcock, The Woman Behind the Man. There you see its cover. How important, Pat, was your mother in your father's scheme of things?
My mother was so important that people don't realize that she was even there. She worked with him very early on. She was in the business before he was. And then she worked with him all the way along, and including when they came over here to America.
Both born in 1899.
Yes,
right?
A day apart. He was the 13th and she was the 14th of August. Yes, yes. And she followed him, you know, they came over, and we came over in 1939, and he came over to make Rebecca for David Selznick.
He was directing in England.
Oh, yes, yes. She was in the business before he was. And
was she a director, too?
No, she was in the art department and synopsis and fixing, you know, things.
Well, we're going to find out a lot about Alfred Hitchcock tonight. He liked women, as you well know, and featured women a lot. Janet Leigh, what was it like to work for him?
It was sheer joy. One, he was so prepared, such a professional, that when you came on, he knew exactly what he was doing. There were no ifs, ands, and buts. And he really gave you free rein, unless...
Really? I used to hear the opposite.
Except you had to be within the scope of his camera. And his camera was absolute. So whatever you may have felt in preparation for the scene that you may want to have risen on eye or something, but his camera didn't move till...
So if you changed an inflection...
No, not the inflection. No, it's the word. You have to move on the word. So what you have to do is change your thought behind the sentence or whatever you're saying.
We're going to be seeing lots of clips tonight. Many of the titles that we see will be available on Universal Home Video and DVD. We'll be seeing all of our featured guests in clips. Here's Janet Leigh in a film you may have heard of, Psycho. Didn't take a shower for months.
I haven't taken a shower unless I was forced to physically because of whatever. No, I don't take showers. And do you know that my daughter, Kelly, couldn't see this? It was just a few years ago that she first saw it.
What they use for the blood?
Chocolate syrup.
Is that true? They use Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Because it read the best on camera, in black and white. Yeah.
How long did it take to shoot that scene?
7 days. 7 wet days. 7 shooting days, yeah.
Tippi, what was it like to work with?
Days.
Oh, well, I had such great fortune by having Alfred Hitchcock as my drama coach. Because The Birds was the first film that I did.
We'll see a clip from it in the next segment. But
yeah.
What was he like? What was your first film ever?
Yes, that was my first film. I had done a lot of commercials, and that's where he found me in a pet milk product.
You're kidding.
No, it was called Seago. It was a diet drink. Yeah. Yes.
And he contacted you?
He did, and asked, one of the studio executives asked if I was the girl in the commercial, and if I was, would I come over and meet with him?
This image that he didn't like actors, wrong?
Oh, that's so wrong. Man, many of his best friends were actors.
Because he had a quote once where he said, I never said actors are cattle. What I said is they should be treated like
as cattle.
Was he just kidding?
No, I think so. I think he treated his actors very well.
Eva Marie, you made the famous North by Northwest. We're going to be seeing a clip from that later. What was he like to work for?
I found it very interesting because I had made Waterfront with Kazan and I worked with actor studio people, studied there, and he was completely different. However, he was interested in how you looked, and it wasn't just an exterior thing. The things that he suggested that you wear, I called him my sugar daddy because he didn't like the costumes that MGM had made, so he took me to New York, Berghoff Goodman, and they had a fashion show, and he said, Eve Marie, whatever you want. And there was a black dress with red roses, and I said, oh, I like that. He said, wrap it up. I mean, it was the first and last sugar daddy I ever had, but at least I can say I had one.
He was meticulous.
So meticulous, and I really admired that, not only in the scenes themselves. It was all in his mind, his storyboard, exactly what he wanted, but he was really interested in the actor and putting it all together.
What, Pat, got him interested in scaring? What got him interested in making fright movies?
I think, Larry, it was the control he had. He started that in England, and the story was the most important thing to him. That's what was important. My mother was already in the business, and he went over and he was carrying some sketches, and she says there was this young man with this great big thing of sketches, and that's when he started, and he got a job there. And
but he liked the fascination of scaring people.
He liked it because I think it gave him control, that he could control the audience. And I think that's why scaring, plus the stories were better.
When the movies were shown for the first time to preview audiences, did he enjoy sitting there?
No, he hated it.
Really?
Just hated it. These sneak previews out here, and he and my mother would go, and they said it was awful. The people would laugh at the wrong time, you know.
And he couldn't control that.
No.
When you were making Psycho, did you know what you were doing? Did you know how wild that would be?
Well, we knew we were doing something unusual, obviously.
Yeah.
To say the least. But you really don't know the outcome of any project.
Till you see it.
Well, until the audience sees it. They make the choice.
That's right.
Did it scare you to watch it?
I had not seen anything, rushes or anything like that. And when I saw it the first time, I absolutely screamed my head off. Just want to add one thing. I think also what titillated Mr. Hitchcock, I always say Mr. Hitchcock, was the manipulation.
He liked to manipulate the audience.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And he put himself in every movie, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
We're going to go to break, and we'll be coming back. Lots of calls tonight. We have an outstanding panel and the discussion of a great director, Alfred Hitchcock. As we go to break, here's Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak in Vertigo.
It's too late. It's too late. There's no bringing her back.
Please.
I heard voices. God have mercy.
Before we get back to the movies, what kind of father was he, Pat?
He was a very loving, friendly. I was friends with he and my mother, more so than dictatorial parents. And we were very close.
You worked with him, right?
I worked with him 3 times. I worked with him in England when I was at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. And he came over and they set the scene with Jane Wyman, the whole picture, at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art.
Was he doting?
Fun.
Was he a father-daughter kind of person?
Very loving.
Affectionate?
Very, oh yes, very.
Tell the Clarence
very.
story.
What do you whisper? Don't whisper.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're on television.
I wanted her to tell the story about him going in when you were asleep.
Yes,
Oh,
tell
yes.
that.
I love that.
I do love it.
I
I'm
would be
sorry.
asleep in bed, and he
When
would
you were
come
a
in.
child?
And when I was a child, well, I was even growing up, and he would come in and draw a clown face all over me while I was asleep.
I love that.
Isn't that sweet?
Kind of wacko, right? Sweet.
I just love that.
One time there was a wonderful seminar at NYU in New York, and the different people, students who know everything about the films more than any of us
Oh,
know.
yes.
And one young student said, Miss Hitchcock, what was it like having Mr. Hitchcock as your father? And was it normal? And Pat said, of course it was normal. He was there, and he was doting, and she said, and you know, I'd wake up in the morning and he would have painted my face, and I never knew when I said, normal.
Oh no, it's just, that's his wonderful sense of humor, you know, the pixie.
And then
I love that.
He would bring me back. He would go over to England during the war, and where, you know, other fathers would bring back little presents, he brought me back an empty incendiary bomb, which I kept by my bed.
Here's a load of laugh.
That's right.